Hey guys, Burrsake here, and it is August 31st, 2019. We're gonna do a small channel update. I didn't write out a script like I did last time. Um, I just wanted to say thank you to the people who've been watching the new Darkest Dungeon series. I've been extremely busy, so the episodes have kind of slacked for 2 days, 3 days now. I actually don't know the exact amount of days, but I ended up missing my last recording date because I had a bunch of adult stuff to do. But all adult things are done. Today's gonna resume normal recording times. And I really appreciate all the viewership and the watch time and the hours and the comments and the support. You guys are wonderful, and honestly, it means a lot. In keeping that though, this is very early in the video, so I hope my audience retention is high enough to get at least a couple people to watch this. What else would you guys personally like to see? Yes, person who's never commented on a single one of my videos and just click this because you thought it might be interesting. What would you personally like to see on this channel? Obviously, Darkest Dungeon is by far my largest thing that I've done on this channel. Like, it overshadows everything. My highest Darkest Dungeon video I think might be at 4,000 views. I'm purely speculating. I haven't looked at it. Last time I looked at it was like 2.5, and it's been getting views ever since, forever. So Darkest Dungeon is obviously gonna have to stay, and I still enjoy the game quite a bit. And as long as mods keep coming out, there's no reason to not keep playing it, right? That's the beautiful thing about a modding community, is they take a game which has a definite end and they extend it almost infinitely. So that's definitely a thing that I would be interested in doing further in the future. But I need to know, what would you personally be interested in, even if it's not like something you think this channel has done or would do? Just let me know. What kind of thing would you be interested in? What kind of content would you like to see? I would prefer it to be about gaming, but I also have friends who like to talk about games and nerd out. I have plenty of like interest in history and in science fiction and books. I like reading. So I just any idea really. I'm kind of spitballing here as far as things to go, because I really haven't found something that has kind of stuck. There are things that I like to do that just don't necessarily get views on YouTube. And I kind of just want to hear from the crowd. But if you guys did manage to get this far, I mean, it's not super long, but you'd be surprised. Audience retention drops dramatically, like in video length and interest. So here's a good example. A lot of people don't like going into specifics. I don't mind specifics. I try to keep it real with you guys as much as I can. So via looking at, I don't have it pulled up, but I'm just gonna say what I can remember. Via looking at my analytics for the 1000 HP Mega Boss video on Darkest Dungeon that we did recently, I think it had 32 views last time I checked, which is pretty good for my channel. And the audience retention was incredible. It was like 19 minutes of audience retention, and that doesn't mean that they watched the first 19 minutes and didn't watch the rest. That means that, I mean, they may have done that, but there's also like maybe they found one part of the video interesting when they were like just looking through it. You'd be surprised, there's not many people who watch a whole video. They will look through till they find something interesting, and then they will watch from that point onwards. So whatever they found, probably the actual boss fight near the end, because I believe it lasts for like 20 minutes. A lot of people clicked on that and then they watched it probably to the end. But that's one example of like viewer retention. Like this video, I can promise you, is going to have about probably 25 seconds of viewer retention. That's really interesting. And I actually wouldn't mind going over analytics more if you guys are even interested in that. Even like the one person watching this at this point, if you're at all interested in viewer analytics and you'd like to see videos about it, feel free to ask, because I would love to do those kind of videos. I find stats and statistics, even when they're not like necessarily in my favor, I find them incredibly interesting. And but yeah, video analytics are pretty interesting. But for that video, so I can see that a lot of people watch for 19 minutes, right? Or that's like the average anyway, right? Somebody might have watched it for 5 seconds, somebody might have watched the whole thing, and then you average it the middle, right? So viewer retention was really high in that one. But then I can go to like the next episode, which was a pretty boring episode if I'm not mistaken, or we even have one that was called Standard Fare, because it was standard fare. Nothing really crazy happened. We went and did a dungeon, we got a little bit of money, people leveled up. That's kind of like, that's a lot of the bulk of Darkest Dungeon, right? The cool stuff happens every 3 to 4 episodes, and then the rest is kind of just like A to B. And I can see on that one only had 6, or it was like 6.5, 640 something viewer retention, or 6.5 minutes of viewer retention. So that lets me know that obviously that video is a lot more boring. Now I can obviously expect that. That's no surprise to anyone. But I kind of just want to know what kind of videos would keep your attention, and if you clicked on it, you would actually be interested in watching the whole way through. Now, I know the first obvious answer is new games, right? Because new game comes out, first people to play it get all the views, and it's a lot better, obviously, for big channels that play it first, because it just drops in your subscription box. You don't have to go looking for it. But this is where smaller channels like myself might be able to find little niches of audiences to tap into. We can find like new games that are indie games, or new games that we particularly like and are good at, and we can tap into those audiences. Like I got pretty lucky with Darkest Dungeon, because I've watched a lot of Bear Taffy, and I loved Bear Taffy, and I watched him play it, and I was like, hey, this looks fucking good. I already play it. Let's just do a video on it. And then I did a video on it, and then I was one of the first people who started to get into the modding scene really early, because I love mods. And I kind of snuck my way in there under the radar, and I got a decent following from that. Now, I say decent because I still don't have a lot of subscribers. You'd be surprised, even on like having like a 4,000 to 5,000, or it's probably like 3,000 to 4,000. Let's be honest, 3,000 to 4,000 video, viewer video, and then a bunch of ones that are like 1,000 plus, and then a couple that are like 900, all the way down, right? You'd think that we'd have a bigger list, but I can like click on the analytics and I can see like 90 something percent of them aren't subscribed. And I almost wonder, now if you've watched this long, woof, we are in it. You're in deep. Good luck. How do you feel about somebody asking you to subscribe? Because it's like the most generic YouTube thing ever, right? Make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell, and then once you do that, make sure you check back every day, and then you gotta call your grandma and tell her that you love her, and all these other things, right? But how do you actually feel about that? Because you would be surprised how many people don't subscribe just because they don't think about it. How do I know this is true? I don't know it's 100% true, obviously, but one thing that I can go on is if you ever go to watch a popular streamer on Twitch, there's a meme going about where they'll tell you about Amazon Prime. Now, if you don't know anything about Twitch whatsoever, I'll give the quickest explanation ever. Practically, Amazon owns Twitch, so there's this thing called Amazon Prime, and once you have it, you can get stuff better. You can get deals on Amazon, and you can also get stuff delivered to you for free on 2-day shipping, which is awesome. But if you have Amazon Prime, you automatically get a free subscription to a Twitch person, because they now own the streaming platform Twitch. That's all you need to know. That's the basic. So if you have Amazon Prime, which a lot of people do because they order, you can give somebody a free subscription, which is money, on Twitch. Now, there's a meme going about where it initially started out where people were just reminding them, and now it's evolved into a meme where people just, they joke about it all the time. But they'll remind you, they'll be like, hey, don't forget, if you have an Amazon Prime subscription, you can get a free month to your favorite streamer, and then they'll point themselves, something stupid like that. But the reason it works is because a lot of people don't even think about it, right? You have Amazon Prime, you don't think that you can subscribe to somebody unless somebody reminds you or tells you, even if you've seen it. It's like the same thing on commercial. Like sometimes you'll go through grocery stores or something, and you'll just be like, hey, I remember seeing that on a commercial, I want that. And it's not necessarily that you didn't know that thing existed. You saw the commercial, you've probably even had it before and you enjoyed it, but the fact is, like, you don't know you want it till you see it. And it's the same thing kind of in my thoughts with subscribing and following and all the other terms for it at this point. There's a bunch. But you kind of need to be reminded. Now, I'm just curious what your guys' views on that are, what you think about it. Like I said, the viewer intention at this point, there's going to be 2 people watching this. One person's going to get this far. But I really am curious, and I'd love to have your information and input on that. And also, what do you guys think about clickbait titles? I hate clickbait titles, man. Like, I've experimented with them in the past, and the worst part is they work. Like the 1000 HP Mega Boss, like I literally capitalized boss, and it got more views than like the one video before it and the one video after by like a decently reasonable amount. Like when I first realized that it was getting more views is because the one before it had 10, it had 18, and the one behind it had like 7. Now the one behind it is obviously because that was uploaded more recently, and views go up, right? Obviously more time, more people see it, more people watch it. That's kind of logical. But the one before it had less views because it was boring. This one had a lot of views with a clickbait title, and then the one after it didn't have a clickbait title either. Now, it's not super clickbait. It's not like YouTube generic clickbait, right? It's not like, you won't believe what happens when I do this, and then there's like 3 red boxes and a bunch of arrows pointing to it. It's not that much of a clickbait, but it has like the hint of clickbait. And I'm wondering what your guys' thoughts on that are. I don't think I'm gonna do like, I don't like super clickbait. Like, even if we just did a more clickbaity titles, maybe that would be a better idea. I don't like the super clickbait where it's like 7 red circles and arrows pointing to them, and then like somebody's face on the screen and it's all like done stupidly. Like, I think it's not a bad thing, and I understand why people do it, and it doesn't make me mad. Like, if you do YouTube as a career, which obviously I don't because I can't make a career out of it yet, or maybe never in the future, you never really know. But when the people who do it, and they do YouTube as a career, it makes sense, right? It's your money, and you need more views. So what if you looked at it objectively on YouTube? Hold on, I gotta move my mouse because I'm pointing on the desk. You guys can't even see it, but I'm like tapping my fingers on the desk. Can you hear this? And it doesn't even pick them on the mic, but maybe. So you have like this graph, right? And on this graph, you can see that XYZ YouTuber uses clickbait, he goes up. This other YouTuber has his same stuff and he's going up, but it's at a much less sharp incline than the guy who's using clickbait. Obviously, this has been a trend for quite a while, and is probably going to continue for quite a while because it's just more interesting. And you can also know the highlight point of a video before you click on it, right? Like, the new series do this too. But one thing is like kind of hard for video gaming necessarily, especially if you don't include a title, is like, I'll use my boy Northernlion as the reference here because I love Northernlion. I watch a buttload of his videos, probably way too much, but I do watch a lot of Northernlion. In episode 1246 of Isaac, right? You're like, why do I care? It's episode 1246. He's done this so many times. Like, why do I care about this video? But then you have like episode 1 through 20 of Mario Maker, and these are like, this is a brand new series. You got to hear all his opinions and thoughts on the games. You got to watch him, see how good he is, all this stuff. And by like the 100th episode, you know all the information you'll ever need to know. The only thing that will be interesting are the new levels and stuff of his Mario Maker series. Whereas he doesn't play mods, or doesn't play mods often. On his Binding of Isaac series, so you know exactly what you're getting into, and the only reason you come back is for his character, which is great. I love his character. I've watched like way too many of his Binding of Isaac videos. This is gonna be a long video. Sorry about that. I'm not sorry about that, but if you've even made it this far, congratulations. But yeah, I watch a lot of his videos, and there's just at some point the viewership falls off, like, and it's not his fault. Not the game's fault. It's not the people watching's fault. The viewers have no obligation to watch a video. It's purely out of interest that people watch a video, and that makes sense. Now, after 1246 or whatever the number we said was, it makes sense that the views would slowly be dropping off, and it's probably going to plateau because at this point, I would be very surprised to see a brand new Northernlion viewer. And this is coming from a small channel. I don't have the metrics, the analytics to know these things. I'm just making these purely off assumption and just, I guess, common sense at this point, right? But if you are a brand new viewer to Northernlion, you watch his Mario Maker 2 series, you watch his Dicey Dungeons, whatever he's doing at the moment, maybe his Gungeon Revisit I saw that he was doing as well. Why would you click on the Binding of Isaac episode 1246? It just seems like a pretty rare thing. Like, you'd want to go back all the way because you're going to go in there and he's going to be talking about complex stuff that you just cannot understand or fathom yet because you don't have the basis of knowledge to do anything. You'll go back and you watch the start. And you watch the start, and then either you'll probably watch like maybe 5 episodes to kind of understand it. Then you might skip all the way to the end and start watching new stuff. But the odds of somebody new is going to watch that, have good viewer retention, and click on it is like extremely low. So it's going to plateau. There's going to be people who are always going to love your content, and they're always going to watch it no matter what. And that Northernlion has proven that. He has a set number of views on every single Isaac video. And that's because he has great comment. I mean, I don't need to tell you why Northernlion is a great YouTuber. You can go watch him. He's one of my favorite of all time. But he has like all these things that are great, and they lead to him getting a plateau of like minimum views, right? So like it trends up generally, but when you've done 1,000 something episodes, it trends down. There's always like this level that will always be there. I say always, but that's not true. But like for almost ever will be there until for some reason, I don't know, something happens. And then that's where his personality comes in. I guess what I'm asking is, and this is a super rambly video. I'm sorry to anybody who's actually watched this far, but what would you guys be interested in, like the two of you watching at this point, to I keep saying that because it's kind of a joke, but at the same time it's also real. So it's a mix in both ways. But what would you guys be interested in seeing? Like I would really like to know. Like we can do more long form discussion. I'd love to have other people on. I'd love to do like a podcast kind of thing with like a set topic and then like an hour of conversation between friends, because I have a bunch of friends that are also in the creator space. I have medium-sized creators. I don't have any large creator friends, but I have medium-sized creators and I have small creators like myself. Also, I have friends that aren't creators who could also bring interesting perspectives into, and we could talk over tons and tons of topics. And yeah, I just wanted to know you guys' opinions. I've wasted your time far too much. If you've watched this far and you plan on commenting, not a guarantee, just give me some idea that you watched this far. I'd be impressed. But yeah, thank you guys for all the views on the Darkest Dungeon videos. Thank you for the continued channel support. We've got more subscribers now than we ever have. Trending upwards. Views are trending upwards. Watch time's trending upwards. Everything is trending upwards, and I'm happy with where we're at and where we're going. I would just like to know if you guys have any ideas for what you would like to see in the future, or ideas of what would keep you to watch more. Like what would make you want to watch more. Not keep you. I don't want to keep you doing anything. I want you to do something, right? Like there's a difference between somebody saying, stay in this room, it's a prison. They lock you in. And then there's an entirely different thing where like you see a badass game system or a game station or new games or something in a room, and you walk in out of your own free will and you stay there for an amount of time out of your own free will. And I want to know what brings you into that room and what keeps you in that room. This is the longest way to get around to it. What keeps you interested? But yeah, thank you guys for watching. If you made it this far, I'm impressed. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. Have a good one.